Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at the kit that I used for my ride down to Turkey and ride back from Turkey to Bristol. I've thought this was going to be a really straightforward video to make because I just got all the kit out that I used and thought, I can just kind of review each part and why I used it and stuff like that. But it turns out that there's quite a lot of kit, even though I really did keep it simple, which is the key to motorcycle touring, is not bogging yourself down with loads of unnecessary stuff. Even though I kept it quite simple, there's still quite a bit to talk about. So I split it into a couple of different videos. One of them we're going to be looking at the kit that I use from panniers and bags and the stuff that I actually took with me. And the other one we're going to look at more of the kind of the camera stuff, the video stuff, the drones. And I understand that that may not interest some of you at all. So that is going to be a separate video for you to take a look at. And there's also a bit of a video coming about the logistics of the trip, campsites, camping, how much it costs, how much fuel I used, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to go through a bit of the details of the trip for you that are planning to do motorcycle touring at some point. But before we get onto that, I just want to say a word about motorbikes. Which motorbikes are good for motorcycle touring? Now I get that question a bit because I did 6,000 miles on a bike that is not typically meant for motorcycle touring. On the way down, I met loads of people that had these big bikes, loads of GS 1200s, stuff like that, that are designed and made for touring. And I would love one of those bikes. They're great. But I didn't want to spend 10, 15,000 pounds on a bike or whatever. I didn't want to spend anywhere near that kind of money. I spent about 3,000 pounds on my bike, which is quite a lot for a 1994 bike really, but it had been very, very well maintained when I bought it. And I maintain it as well as I can as well. And the main thing is that it's not about whether the bike is designed for touring. The main thing is whether you are comfortable sitting on that bike for those kinds of miles. Because on the way down, I was doing between 200 and 400 miles a day. On the way back, I was doing between 300 and 600 miles a day. Now, if you're not comfortable sat on a bike for those kind of miles, then motorcycle touring on that bike is going to be an absolute nightmare. So you want to make sure you're comfortable. If you're comfortable on your bike and it's been well maintained, it will just munch those kinds of miles without any issue whatsoever. My bike had done 34,000 miles when I left for the trip down to Turkey. And in total, we covered about 6,000 miles on a trip. So I've gone past 40,000 miles on the bike now, and it's still problem free. It was problem free all the way down, all the way back, apart from when it stalled it in Greece because of the rain. Other than that, it was perfect. So your bike that's in your garage is more than good enough for motorcycle touring. Just make sure it's well maintained, new tires, check your brakes, change your oil, all that kind of stuff. You'll be just fine. Just get it out of the garage, get it started, and off you go. Right, we're going to start with the panniers. So these are the Kappa Rambler, and these are absolutely brilliant panniers. Initially, what attracted me to these panniers was the fact that it kind of fitted in with the style of the Wingman of the Road tent that I have. I will be doing a review on that one as well. So it was a little bit vain, I suppose. But you've got, it's a really decent pannier. It's waterproof. Obviously, you've got an inner liner on the inside here that when you open that up, that's completely waterproof. When you've got it strapped onto the bike, it's kind of held down like this and strapped to your pannier rack. And because it's creating this fold at the top, no water can get in through the top of there at all. You've also got these funky little side pockets to put things in that you need quick access to, which I use that an awful lot. And this one on the front as well, if you need quick access to anything, you can get to it that way as well. So these were really, really ideal. Really like them. They're about £150. They're made out of really rugged, durable, nice material that really isn't going to go anywhere or rip easily. And I put these through, obviously, the heat going down to Turkey and also the rain and the storms and the cold on the way back. And I didn't get any faults whatsoever. I must admit there's a tiny little bit where it looks like the seam is coming ever so slightly up down here, but it might well be because I strapped them down so hard, maybe a little bit too hard a couple of times, but that's easily repairable. I think that happened on the way back actually, if I remember rightly. But yeah, when it's all strapped down like that, these front, these come over and hook onto the front, which goes in through those little two loopholes here. And yeah, and creates a really nice little compact package. Now, there's quite a lot of space in them, so you can fit quite a lot of clothes, some bedding. I actually had all my tools with me as well, and a few other bits and bobs, so everything you need can go into these pannier bags. Is there anything negative about them? Well, I suppose in one way, and it's something I didn't think about when I was on my way down, is that there's no way of locking these. So obviously if there's kind of an opportunist thief and your bike's there and you're not with the bike, it'd be really easy to nick these panniers and everything in them. And I suppose that's something that I might possibly think about doing differently on my next trip, is how to, or at least thinking about it anyway, how do I create some kind of security around the stuff that's on my bike? And it's really hard to do that on a motorcycle. It's not like a car where you can just lock stuff in the back. But there's a few times I stopped in a really busy area. I was boiling hot. I wanted to jump into the sea, but I knew that I wouldn't be able to leave any of my kit. I'd have to take it kind of into the sea with me, and you can't do that, of course. So yeah, so that was the only thing. How do you kind of secure your belongings when you're on a bike trip? And when you've got material panniers, it just makes it all the more easy for an opportunist thief to come along and nick them. I suppose you've got to get over that and stop thinking about that when you're out riding around. But you know, if they had been taken, or any of my kit had been taken, it would have been really, really disastrous for the whole trip, because I only had important stuff and stuff I really needed with me. So that, in hindsight, that's I suppose that's the only thing that I would say that these are not so good, is that side of things, that they there's no kind of security or anything like that. Kappa Rambler, absolutely brilliant panniers. I'm sure I'll be using them again on other trips, so really, really pleased with those. I am packing ready for the return journey, so I'm just going to quickly go through what I'm putting in my bags. I'm taking the same pannier bags, the Kappa Ramblers. These are also waterproof and everything, which I'm probably going to need on the way back. And I designate one bag to one of the panniers to tools and clothes, and the other side I designate for camping stuff. So yeah, camping and waterproof. Sorry, I need to be able to get to the waterproofs pretty quickly, so they'll be going on the very top, just in case there's downpours. I'm praying there won't be, but it is November. So it's unlikely that I'm going to have a completely dry trip home. I've just got to get my head around that. So anyway, without further ado, we've got the two pannier bags. They are a bit twisted. Let's see what we can do about that. There we go, something like that. Basically, this side here is going to have, at the very bottom, I've got my tool set here. It's just a simple draper thing, but I can basically break most of the bike down with that tool set, should I need to. That goes at the very, very bottom. Put some long nose pliers there as well. Screwdriver. Some cable ties will go there as well. And some of these kind of Jubilee clips or hose clips. They're really helpful just if you need to clamp something really quickly that's fallen off or broken. Hopefully, I should be taking some ferries. So I've got a ratchet strap, because I don't know what they got on the ferries. I think they obviously will have ratchet straps, but whether they will let me use them, I don't know. So I've got a ratchet strap just to strap the bike down, should I need to do that. So that goes there at the bottom as well. Now, this is my tools and clothes side of things. So I'm hoping that I would never need to use the tools, so they go at the very bottom. But for this trip, I've got all my standard things. I've got my boxer shorts. How many pairs of boxer shorts I've got? Actually, not that many, but it's okay. We just turn them inside out. No, I'll probably be doing a wash or something on the way. So I've got 5
5 pairs of boxer shorts there. I got some socks, 4 pairs of normal socks, 5 pairs of normal socks, and some ankle socks as well. So they will also go at the bottom there. What's slightly different about this trip is that I've got some thermal stuff with me because it might get a bit cold. So I've got 1, 2, 3 thermal jumpers, and I will just layer up if I need to. Thermal t-shirt, and I do have some thermal trousers. Actually, one of those things I just put in was thermal trousers. So it's about 3 thermal jumpers and some thermal trousers. So yeah, I am a bit concerned about the temperature. Down here, I'm in Turkey right now, it's about 25 degrees. It's absolutely gorgeous. I know that this temperature is going to stay pretty much like this all the way through Turkey, Greece, and possibly into kind of southern Italy. But when I get into northern Italy and kind of southern France, there's a possibility that I will get a bit cold. So I've got 2 vests as well that can go under everything. A pair of shorts, should I need to just jump in the sea or something, or want to go for a swim. Unlikely, but I got them with me anyway. Another t-shirt. I will be packing a couple more t-shirts as well. But that's basically my clothes and my tools bag. I will have a pair of jeans, they're outside drying at the moment, and a shirt, so that's going in there as well. I also need to leave room for a pair of trainers, so I've got a pair of black Adidas trainers that will go in there. So that's basically my clothes side, bar the jeans, and the shoes and the shirt. So that's everything there. On this side, we've got the camping side. Now, I've got another ratchet, well, it's not a ratchet strap, it's just a pull strap, that one. I'll shove that at the bottom there. This is my pillow. Now I squeeze that and curl that up nicely like that. That will go, that goes straight in the bottom. Now, this I've considered, should I get a blow up pillow because it would take up a lot less room, but I just do not sleep with those blow up pillows. As you know, I've got the Wingman of the Road, which is the tent with the mattress and the sleeping bag all inbuilt. So all I need is a pillow. So I just roll that thing out, set it, put the poles in, and then all I need is the pillow. So that's all good. I have got my normal gloves, which I will be using for a good part of the journey until it gets cold. But here I have got, I'm going to put my scarf in the bottom there as well with the, but here I've got some waterproof kind of winter gloves. My fingers do tend to get quite cold, so I've got those, and I don't have heated grips. I should really invest in that, shouldn't I? And then we've got a Frank Thomas rain jacket. The rain jacket's going to stay fairly close to the top because I may need to access that really quickly. And some rain trousers. They're also going right near the top there like that. I've got a Balaklava. That can go in there as well. And that actually, well, I've got this standard things, kind of my camping stuff. I've got this Flextail thing, which is the mosquito repellent thing. When you turn it on, it does its thing. And it's also a light, which can go very, well, bright-ish. That will keep the mozzies away, and they're going to be out this time of the year, I think. So that will probably go in the side compartment there, so I can access it easily on an evening or whenever I need some extra light through the, when I'm out riding or whatever I should be doing. And these are the cartridges that go in there. So that will go just down in the bag there somewhere. So that is basically it. I do have a high vis in one of these somewhere. Yeah, I've got a high vis there. Easy to access. And that basically is it. So it's not a huge load of stuff. It's not a huge load of clothing. My advice to anybody that wants to go out touring is don't overpack your clothing because you won't use as much as you think you're going to. You need a few t-shirts, a few pairs of boxers, some socks and whatnot. I need things to be able to change into should you get wet. But you will be able to dry your stuff out somewhere. You can go into a laundrette, you can go and wash stuff. The worst thing you could do is just pack all the clothes that you would ever need for a 10-day trip because you would need a suitcase for that. It's too much stuff, you won't need it. You just will not need it. So You know, if you need to do some washing, you can jump into a laundrette somewhere, anywhere in Europe, and just clean your stuff and dry it, and then you're set to go again. But overpacking, completely unnecessary. So that will basically, with the jeans and the shirt and the trainers, that will be 2 weeks easily. I could go longer than that probably if you do some cleaning on the way, but that's all you really need. I've got my camera bag as well. We'll run through that in a bit. That's basically the same as it was before, apart from I've got Insta360 now, which is a bit of fun. So that's it for now, I think. Yeah, it is. I'll go and get the camera bag and we'll run through that as well.